This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. This episode of Play the Game podcast is brought to you by Dizana Sports Canopy Booths, and we are super excited to announce that PTG will be rocking a custom Dizana booth at all of the WCPPL events, and we cannot wait to see you there. Dizana also has a crazy deal for PTG listeners that allows you to get a 10 by 10 foot canopy and frame for only $700 shipped. Dizana booths use durable 1.6 inch heavy duty aluminum hexagonal frames, are fully coated to provide waterproof protection, use superior fabric construction, and incorporate full color dye sublimation printing. Get your custom canopy today at dizanasports.com and mention you heard about the deal on PTG to take advantage of getting your $700 custom booth right now. Click the custom tab at dizanasports.com and start designing your booth today. This episode of PTG is brought to you by the innovations at HK Army and features the new colored Aerolite Pro Regs. All of the Pro Regulators come equipped with a micro gauge, a rubber valve cover, dual O-rings, a rotational threaded cap, and can be adjusted from 450 to 650 psi output pressure. The internal pistons and spring design ensures that there will always be a consistent flow of output pressure, which gives you a more consistent and accurate chrono. The Pro Regs are packed in a protective exo case, machined, assembled, and tested in the USA, and are available right now on hkarmy.com. Head on over to the website and also be sure to check out the new 8845 Alpha Air Tank that is truly changing the game. Shop hkarmy.com for all of your paintball needs.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to PTG Studios. Shout out to PTG Nation. Got you guys. Decided to switch it up just a tiny bit. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This episode, we have the Nate Schroeder of Seattle Uprising. He just made the big move over from, is it Los Angeles Infamous or the Chicago Infamous now? I don't know. They've gone through a few name changes, but Infamous. And yeah, Nate is a fantastic paintball player and an even better human. And this is an episode you guys are not going to want to miss. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, everybody. We are here with the man of the hour, Nate Schroeder. My dude just made the move over to Uprising. A lot of stuff going on right now, Nate. But first of all, good to see you, and thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey,
Nice, dude.
Let's
Appreciate
go.
that, Nate.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you, Nate, taking the time to hang out with us. And obviously, you know, you've made a move in your pro career. But before we hop into all that, how are you doing? Where are you located at right now? I see you got the nice foliage for the YouTube. You can check out the plant life he's got going in the background.
Yeah. So I'm at my home here outside of Seattle, Washington, in Kirkland.
Nice.
I live here in this space with my wife, the interior decorator, and 2 dogs. So they're on a walk right now, and we're
gonna have to have the dogs on the show.
So you have a quick couple of dog cameo coming up here soon.
There we go. That's actually our favorite part of the show is having all the animals on the show too. You know,
yeah,
to meet all the pets. Yeah,
for sure. Mine too.
I'm actually coming to Bellingham, Washington this upcoming weekend on the 24th. Yeah.
Dusty Manderson, right? He's got a field up there now.
That's right. It's Aim and Game is
Mm-hmm.
the name of the facility, and then we're doing a fun like training event for the day. So if you're in the area, definitely get in contact with me or contact us. We can get you some info on that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
That's
So
cool.
so what's been going on? I know the last couple weeks have probably been kind of crazy. You just made the move from Infamous to
Mm-hmm.
Uprising. Shout out to Uprising, Shane the Chain in the house. You got the whole crew over there. Some of my favorite people in paintball on that squad. So what's it been like going through that shift from Infamous moving to Uprising?
Yeah, so as most people I think know that looked into it, there's a little blog post on the Infamous site, but lots of factors went into my decision. The biggest one being the work schedule thing. If you don't know, Infamous practice schedule is basically fly out the weekend before the event, practice through that weekend, travel to the event on the Tuesday, and then Wednesday you set up the booth, and then the tournament. Practice starts Thursday at the event, so on and so forth. So I was doing the best I could with my work schedule. I'm fortunate enough to have pretty much as much time off as I want, to an extent, right? So I basically reached that point where my boss was like, "Hey, you got a lot of big things coming up down the pipeline. Something's got to give," and that was kind of like the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. I felt like what the team was requiring of me and what work was requiring of me just wasn't aligned. So both sides of the fence deserved more, and so my decision was solely based on that I just couldn't commit to the team. People will say like I had like the Uprising thing lined up from the get, whatever. And, to those people, I just want to say like if it was something else that I had an issue like with my playing time, maybe because I had been playing a lot this season, I would have quit this time last year because I wasn't playing a lot mid-season last year either. And so it was never really about that. It was just we were just going different directions. So fortunately, some of my best friends play on Uprising. I helped them go pro 6.5 years ago.
That's right.
So they had always kind of wanted me to come back, and the door was always open. I'd actually told them, pretty
so you
early
had
on.
this lined up.
It was all part of the plan, but the timing
plan.
was not ideal, right? Because I had big goals to accomplish with Infamous. The whole reason I left was so that I could win a tournament. Like they have everything that anybody could ever want from a playing perspective in terms of resources, experience. So the move made a lot of sense for me at the time, and I did everything I could. So the Uprising thing, I jokingly told Alex and Graham on Uprising years ago. I was like, if anything ever comes down where you guys are feeling like it's going to be your last season, like that'd be something I'd definitely consider coming back, so you can start and finish this thing together.
Yeah.
So they had forgotten I said that like 5 years ago, but then I reminded them a couple years ago, and so it's always been it's the last season. I'm like, all right, now like can't even believe it anymore. So
is this their last season?
No, there's no like concrete decision there, but so yeah.
They just told you it was. They were like,
"Yo,
this is the last season. Yeah, exactly. Come on down."
Yep. Yep. So
you were with Infamous for a little while, right? How many years were you with the squad?
Yeah, over 6 years. So went through quite a few injuries, quite a few shoulder surgeries. So I didn't play the whole time during my tenure, but yeah.
Are the shoulders doing good now?
Shoulders super solid. Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's never easy.
Things, like bolted in, right?
Yeah, I got the Brandon Cornell fix up.
Yeah, so that's the BC special for sure.
Yep.
Oh man, that's
nice.
Yeah, that's the real deal for sure. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't easy. Leaving Infamous after being with them for so long. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's going to be good for you and your family, and that's completely understandable. And you have an amazing squad that you're going into, like you said, with some of your best friends. So that's going to be really cool to watch you. Continue on the pro career with your buddies, and the squad is hungry. I know that they work hard. I know that they care a lot about the team from top to bottom. Jimmy's actually in our Discord. Shout out to the owner of Uprising.
Nice. Yeah, Jimmy's a man.
One of the best people ever.
Yeah. Love everything Jimmy's doing with the team since he, acquired it, purchased it. Bringing on Tyler Michaud to coach.
Legend.
Also brought in one of our local homies to, do the assistant coach thing. And then he actually started playing the last event. So, yeah, just excited to be back with the guys. If people don't know kind of the core, I know you've probably heard of it, like the core of Uprising is DBS Kids. So it's a divisional team that I helped start like 2004. So some of us have been playing together like 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to start there. Let's start with your paintball story. Like, how did you get in the game? Let's dive into the kids team and how you guys like formulated that. So how did it all start?
For sure. So I started playing at a birthday party. So
shout out to the party.
Here we go.
Yeah. So yeah, put that on your bingo card.
Birthday party.
Oh,
and then so I had a buddy that I played soccer with, and him and his brother were really into like speedball. So they dragged me out to the local field, which is Doodlebug Sports, DBS. And they had tryouts for like a young guns team. So under 16, went to the tryout, made the team. Then at that point, a couple months later, the owner's son decided to come play with us. So that's Dusty Court. He's, on the squad now. And then we had another round of tryouts where we brought on Joel Eaton and Brandon Olson. So there's 4 of us. And then we ran with that squad until we finished up D3. And then when we went D2, we combined with our D4 team, which had Alex Borromeo and Graham Arnold on it. So those are kind of the 6 DBS kids. We all pretty much stuck together through divisionals. Then we started like getting assimilated. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you guys start playing 3v3 or was it 5v5?
Yeah, 3v3, and then actually in the Northwest we had a 4v4 tournament series. So
yeah,
really
I think it's really something curious about the 3v3 format and how applicable it is to new players getting into the game. And I love to see also, I think Mike Hinman is doing a 3v3 type of tournament for your like local parks and type stuff, right? Is that right, March?
I don't know. Is he? I know he was
yeah.
doing 3-man at the WC, or he wanted to do 3-man beginner.
Well, he's doing affiliates. He's doing like affiliates with the fields across the country, I think, or all over the place, to where you can be a part of the WCPPL, and they're going to have like these affiliate tournaments. I don't have all the information, but they're doing 3v3, which I think is amazing for like cultivating the future of the game.
Yeah.
We need more 3v3.
Yeah.
Easy entry point.
I agree. I mean, definitely there's that transitioning from like the rec ball to the speed ball. 3v3 just makes the most sense. So we actually started doing that at our local field at DBS. They do 3v3 on like the hyperball field, which is like,
nice.
It's not as big, so a smaller hyperball field, but that really gets people who have been playing every weekend on the rec ball side, kind of gets them, into the tournament format. I don't think there's any prizes or anything like that, but no,
it gets them ready. It gets them ready for airball. Like that's how I started playing airball. Was I went to hyperball first, and then I saw that format, and I was like, okay, this is the next iteration. But you're right. It's a really easy way to cultivate like new talent and get them interested in playing airball. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say hyperball because our old indoor was hyperball before we got it turfed and stuff. And
hyperball? How loud is that?
Dude, the most terrifying experience. Like,
I don't think I'd ever play again.
It was horrible. It was dark too. Like, you would get bunkered and like, it was like,
oh man, legit. That's nightmare fuel.
Actually, the biggest villain there in the shadows was Chris Wilson. LC.
Oh God.
And so I remember him saying like, you guys just wait till we get air balls in here. I'm gonna be bouncing it off the bunkers and hitting you guys. And we're like, dude, whatever, you're crazy, man.
He was saying that back then?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Innovator.
Yeah. What year was this, Nate?
2004. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, people weren't talking about bounce shots back then, so that's a little crazy to me.
Well, Chris Wilson, I played on Oakland with Chris for quite some time, and he was one of the most passionate paintball players you would ever see. Yeah. The guy would be like yelling on the field, going crazy, and he even yelled at Be Real from Cypress Hill one time. I was like, Chris, don't do that. You don't yell at those guys.
Yeah, we would have private practices, and he would come out and help like coach us or whatever. He'd be like, all right, we're doing 1-on-5s. And we would literally play 1-on-5, and he would see how many he could shoot. And then he'd be like, all right, we're doing it again. Like, bro,
Dude,
yeah.
what a beast.
Yeah.
That's
It's
wild.
pretty sick.
I just saw him actually at the WCPPL, the most recent one. He was out there playing, and he still got the love of the game. I think he just turned like 40 or 41, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Still getting it.
Yeah, he just got back into it maybe last year, but started going to events recently. Also Ryan Muir, another local
Ryan
legend,
Muir.
playing again. Chub.
No way, dude.
Chub
I was just
Chub.
talking to somebody about
Me.
Ryan Muir. Was it
Talking to
you?
me.
Yeah, it was you.
Mhm.
Dude, I would love to get in contact with Ryan Muir. We played on Aftermath together when it was the year that we bumped up to Division 1. Yeah, Ryan was dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny,
Yeah.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah, those two guys and Tyler, those were like kind of, my guys. So now
Yeah.
get to see those two, LC and Ryan every weekend, and then, playing for Tyler again. So
That's what it's all about, man. Yeah, that really is special. And Tyler is a phenomenal person to have as a part of the organization and helping to, continue to give you guys the right vision and help steer the team in the right direction. Talk to me about what it's been like, obviously rekindling that and being like, yo, T, I'm coming back to the team, going to be playing. How exciting's that been?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to him since he came back, and he's always been like in my ear, like, how's it going over on Infamous, blah blah blah, and I tell him everything, like talk to him kind of about like his experience with coaching, and he's like, I haven't coached before, so I'm learning, and he's just really happy to be with a group of guys that trust him, even though he doesn't have that experience, because we all looked up to him as kids, and he even played with us for a while, for a couple seasons, so.
Yeah.
It's just been really cool having him in the fold, because I think that's kind of one thing Uprising always needed was, like not just AO does a good job on the coaching, but it takes a village. It takes more than just one person. I don't care who you are. You got to have a whole team of coaches to make it happen. So having Tyler is a perfect fit for Uprising.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a legend. For anybody that doesn't know who Tyler Michaud is from Dynasty days, one of the most iconic paintball players of all time, who's now also with the squad and helping you guys out. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think this move is huge for Uprising. They've needed a little bit of a spark. Them this year, I think a lot of fans would have thought they were going to do a lot better, especially Jimmy coming back. And, there was a really good energy, good buzz around the team at the start of the season, and then things just haven't really gone their way. I feel like they've lost in every possible way you can lose this year. Like, just like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. And it's, it's unfortunate to watch, especially if you're an Uprising fan. And I think that you're going to bring, they have no depth, right? So they have like 4 or 5 guys that they can really rely on. Now you give them a little bit different of an option, different type of attack. Depth in general is important, because not everybody can always be hot either. So if you have somebody that's just not having a great day, you want to be able to go to somebody. That's why a lot of these top teams, they've got like 8, 9, 10 players that can just get hot and win you matches. So, I think it's definitely going to be a big boost. And actually, I think Uprising is kind of in that bottom conversation of relegation right now as well, right?
Yep.
So it's good timing for them for sure. I hate that we have this relegation talk, especially like you look at some of the teams down there. It's Uprising, New York Extreme, the Hurricanes, I think. No, not the Hurricanes.
I think Kings, Blast Camp.
Kings.
New York.
New York Extreme. There's one more team that's in that bottom 4. New York Extreme is like way down there.
Yeah.
Shoot, I forget. But anyway, I'm like going through I'm like, well, what team would you want it to be? You don't really want it to be any of these pro teams. No. So this idea that we've been pitching, that we've been talking about, and again, got to give Rob from Wrecking Crew his kudos, because this is his idea and he always reminds me of it. But
yeah, Rob,
it should be an average of the last 2 seasons, not just one season, because you have a team like, say, Dynasty, for example, say we get to a point to where, Yosh, Alex, Ryan, they retire at once. Maybe Archie retires. Maybe I retire. Right. Yeah. And we're like, okay, we're going to go through a massive rebuild. You have an organization like that goes through a massive rebuild, takes a bunch of chances on some young players. And then the next year, your last place team, you get relegated, you lose your pro spot. I don't know that that's so great. Or, you look at like New York Extreme. they've been a great team for the league. They're a really good team for, the Northeast area. They had a lot of injuries this year, so, things have not gone their way either, and they're the last place team. If they get relegated, do you think they're going to stick around and play semi-pro and try to earn that spot back? Probably not. Those players are going to go elsewhere. That team's going to be done. So I feel like an organization should have 2 years to prove it.
Yeah.
Again, you should have one rebuilding year or year where injuries and anomaly, are taken into account. So I think it should be an average of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. Shout out Rob.
Yeah.
You like the idea too? Yeah.
I like the idea, but I think it takes a lot of pressure off of these teams going into a rebuild, right? Like, for example, like Ironman, like
totally.
There's so much pressure on those guys to do well because they're playing for such a legendary franchise. Mm-hmm. Like, just imagine being like, hey man, like it is what it is this season. We're rebuilding. It's fine. Like
2-year plan.
Chance to relegate. Yeah. Like that makes total sense. My personal solution for this would be, I think that the bottom 4 teams or bottom 2 teams, whatever you want to do, should just play in and have the top 2 or top 4 teams from semi-pro start their tournament a day early. You have a mini round robin, you win out, then you go play in the pro division tournament. If you don't, then you go play semi-pro. And just because those bottom teams, they have no chance of winning the series anyway. So like, what does it matter? So that's my take. I think a lot of sports do that.
Wait, I'm not totally following.
Okay, so going into the next event, Uprising and Extreme, they're the bottom 2 teams.
Okay.
Top 2 teams from semi-pro.
Okay.
Those 4 teams get put in a bracket. The top 2 teams out of it, then those 2 teams that win, then they're in the pro division for that event. Got it. Now you'd have to figure out how that works for like series standings and stuff, but I don't know if series standings coming out of semi-pro really matters at that point, because if you're playing out every time, then you work your way up the rank.
Oh, yeah, that is a tough one. I like the concept. It's kind of like the champs and challengers that they used to do, which I thought was really exciting. I wouldn't be opposed to going back to that type of a format. You still have 20 pro teams. That's a little bit different than what you're saying, but I do think that's exciting. It would be tough to get teams to go for a full extra day. Funding is already tight. People missing work, all of that is kind of tight. But it's an interesting concept. It's a fun concept for sure.
Yeah, I also like.
You think you deserve to be in this pro division more than we do? Well, come through.
Yeah, let's go toe to toe.
Yeah.
I do also like the protection of these new pro teams coming into the league. So how would that work for the new pro team that's coming in? Right, they would have a little bit of a layer of protection because they would have 2 seasons that they're automatically going to be as a part of the NXL Pro. Is that how it works?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, like for the
totally.
new pro team coming up.
Yeah, so if it's your first year in, like you're guaranteed 2 years.
That's right. Which is amazing to protect these new. It
100%.
takes a couple of years to really catch a rhythm and really get into a good flow of playing together. So I think that's good for the players coming up as well.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Come on, Tom. We need to make it happen.
Yeah, where's he at?
He's MIA, baby.
Yeah, we tried texting and we got the green text.
Yeah, so for all the listeners that are huge Tom Cole fans, just like we are, Tom reached out like August 7th, a while ago now. He never does this. He knows we kind of wing it. We're like we'll schedule our guests like a week out. And he reached out weeks ago and was like, hey, I want to reserve that date. Can we do this date, which is today? I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, I got some stuff I want to bring on the show, yada, 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 the whole thing. He's like, I'm going to be out of the country until Monday night though. So, we'll do it.
He's
Tuesday.
still partying. He's still partying out
like,
of the country.
Awesome. So last night I was trying to message him and his phone's green, which, means he doesn't have service. But the whole time he's been over there, it's green. So I don't know if he's on one of his, I know like once a year he goes on like a retreat kind of thing where he's not traveling for work. He like go to Africa and do some kind of, big safari trip. Who knows? I don't know where he's at, but he was supposed to be on the show today. Still not answering. I messaged his wife, first lady of paintball. Can't get a hold of her. I don't know what's going on. I hope
we're worried.
Okay.
We're genuinely worried.
Yeah. I hope they're okay.
Yeah, I hope they're okay too.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you more about your divisional route. Like you said that you joined forces with the crew, which is so cool. You've full circle come back together with the squad. What was that? What did that look like? And how did it like turn into super competitive paintball to where you said, I want to go pro. This is what I want to attack. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. So, we were pretty successful in our divisionals because I attributed it to having an indoor at our disposal. So we were drilling, playing
Indoor hyperball?
No, yeah. Well, it turned into a turf with, bunkers shortly after I started playing. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we had like a perfect facility for us to just basically play paintball whenever we wanted to. So our mechanical skills and everything were on point, especially through the off season and stuff. So, we won D4 series, D3 series, D2 series maybe, and then D1 is when we kind of started phasing, playing less. Essentially, we're all coming up in the age where we're going to college and stuff. So we only played 2 D1 events a year as DBS kids, and then during that time, we were at the point where we didn't really have anybody to practice, so we would travel down to Sacramento to Dave Baines Field and play the local teams there. And so that's where I got hooked up with Fusion. Shout out Nita and Fetty.
Yeah, Nita and Fetty.
Yep.
Man. Yep.
So me and Alex Borromeo, we guested with them in WCPPL. And then that's when I was just playing more paintball than anyone else. And, I was in school at the time and college at the time. So I had that flexibility to just play as many events. So I was playing WCPL, PSP, CXBL. So that was when really I decided, all right, I've got something here and I'm committed. I really want to see how far this is going to go. So yeah, that was kind of like the turning point for me, trying to turn it into a career.
Yeah. Yeah, what a great camp there. I grew up at Capitol Edge Paintball Park in Sacramento there. So I actually was there for the opening weekend. I've been for every anniversary. I always fly back up north every year to go see the family. And they have one of the best training parks and just communities in the sport. So it's awesome that you also got to, experience that place, because it really is a special spot.
For sure. It's definitely one of my home away from home. So
yeah,
I love going down there. We actually got to practice there this off season with Infamous, and or no, it was before the event, right?
Yeah.
And we're so pumped because I was like, yes, a West Coast practice. Like, this is gonna be awesome. I don't have to fly out to Florida before practice now. Like, it's gonna be sweet. And then it just rained the whole time, and that was the end of that. So the other Infamous guy is not a huge fan of Sacramento, but it's got a special place in my heart for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacramento's fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy our practices up there.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty hot, or the few times of the year. It's so funny. Were we practicing you guys?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that's funny because it's either you guys or Uprising that will come out to practices. So Uprising will come out they come out more this last season than, in previous years. But it'd be like maybe once or twice a year. They're like, you know what? We want to escape the rain. We're going to come to the West Coast and get a practice with you guys. They'll come out and it's pouring rain the whole weekend. I'm like, to the Uprising guys, I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry, guys. It's not normally like this. This is crazy. So it's funny, that happened to you on Infamous, and now it's probably going to happen to you on Uprising.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully soon. Hopefully this weekend. I'm looking at the forecast, and
yeah, it rains a lot.
It's gonna be hot, right?
It's gonna be hot this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are going to be up there practicing against Dynasty, my team, right?
Yep.
Nice.
So nice little Saturday, Sunday practice. Capitol Edge. I think some of the Impact guys are going to be there too.
There you go.
So you think,
yeah,
Paris layout. You wanted us to change it. The middle is kind of brutal, or what?
So I guess coming on to Uprising, I'm really trying to change the way they're thinking about practice, and we played that Paris layout and it was not conducive to the things we're trying to work on. So it's a very fast layout. It's a very fast layout. Can't really see much off the break. Can't really stop much at all from anywhere. And it's just a lot of trades that I think are going to happen in the center of the field. So we'll see.
Yeah. It is a tricky layout. It's hard to see stuff on the, I feel like it's like a lot of the layouts though. A lot of the layouts have been like this, to where from the back center, except for the last one, Atlantic City was great. That back center was tiny, but you could see and shoot everything. That was awesome. But a lot of these fields of you have to find a particular spot, whether it's right off the start gate on the Dorito side or the Snake side, to be able to shoot, the Snake or the Dorito runner, or shoot cross field. You had to get really creative with these off the break shots. And this field is definitely like that. You can see I've been on the field at 3 different locations now and on Guns Up, and the back center snakeway does have a tiny sliver so you can at least see where they go on the snake.
Right.
Did you have that on yours,
Yep.
Nate? Okay, so like you can't shoot through it. You could shoot high for the corner, but at least you could see where they go, right? And it's like one of those tough game planning decisions. You're like, well, you kind of have to be here if you're not in that tower shooting snakeway so that you can at least see if they go to the snake.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, yeah, it's like pretty easy to make moves down the field. There's only a few spots that you can really slow things down from.
Right.
And, you know, playing 2 pods, which is what we'll be playing over there for Nations Cup, is so much different than playing, you know, with a full rack. But 2 pods, like this field is going to be crazy. It's going to be tons of trades, tons of attack. I think the center is really good. I do see what you're saying, though, a lot of action there. People are just going to be jumping over that lay down snake through the middle, bunkering you in the back, and then surviving on your side. But if you're in one of those bricks looking to the other side of the field, which is still really good, then you can protect yourself.
For sure.
It's a little harder to come around the outsides.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I'm not against the layout. I think if you've had as much time as you've had on the layout, then like it's going to be really cool to see what pro teams are able to make happen, especially like you said, the off the break shots, because it's a lot of that dancing game, right? Like figuring out what they're doing, dancing on one side of the field. If you can match it, are you going to not go to the first Dorito and shoot at the tower? Are you expecting the tower to shoot back at you on the first Dorito? Like that kind of stuff. So lots of layers to this layout for sure. And like I said, not the layout that I want to kind of go toe to toe with Dynasty and Impact on when my first weekend back with Uprising. All good.
Yeah, the middle is powerful too. Like you can go straight to the center 50s, and you have to find which one they're at. And if you don't pick up on that early, they will eat you up going wide or trying to get out. Yeah.
The good news is Impact probably won't have Mikey this weekend. I think he's going to be over in Europe, so the bruiser won't be bunkering everybody and overshooting everybody.
Sweet. Love that.
He's actually been back out here in AZ for a couple weeks as well, and I think he's trying to possibly move back out here to the desert. So hopefully I'll see more of Mikey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, your AZ team is getting strong.
Yes, the Cactus Kids, dude. The Cactus Crew.
Cactus Crew.
Yep. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we're just cultivating and just having fun. It's like street ball, you know, like back in the day, you just throw your team together and whoever the locals are, go have some fun and play some ball. Nice. So I got to ask, Nate, what is exciting you the most about being back with the squad, with Uprising? What challenges are you anticipating and how are you going to navigate them?
Yeah, well, I'm really excited to shoot a Lux again. If I'm being honest,
Idol's shooting amazing.
Yeah. I've got an Idol right now, but we got some new ones coming in. So shout out DLX. I'm excited to see the custom ammo. Yeah. But yeah, I shot a Lux growing up, so I just think they shoot better than the other gun. So I'm excited. Other than that, you know, obviously being back with the boys, I think I've gained a lot of knowledge from Infamous and how they operate. And I know it's going to be challenging, like you mentioned, like to try and incorporate some of the things that I want to work on, just because, you know, what Uprising has been doing for the past, few years, it's getting them right to where they need to be, but it's not kind of pushing them through to be that Sunday team. So just trying to like break down the barriers they have and let them know that, you know, the stuff I'm bringing isn't not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to build on it. And so yeah, excited.
Absolutely. Okay, we got the dogs. Yeah, bring them in. Bring them in. We got to meet them.
Trill.
Who do we got?
So this is a puppy. This is Trill. She's
Trill. Let's go.
Yo, that's one of the best dog names I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Trill. Yeah. Trill the dog.
Well, shout out to Bun B.
Yep, Bun B and Pimp C in the house.
Yep.
Is that Pimp C right there?
That's Trix.
That's Trix.
Trill and Trix.
She's a little camera shy, so
Trix is
Trix and Trill. My 2 dependents.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yep, it's all about the animal. They're family essentially. It's like that's the squad.
Yeah. You happy dog.
Love it. Nice.
Yeah, check out the YouTube. That dog is happy.
I see you with those Zins over there.
Yeah, dude. I quit vaping, so I'm like, I can do whatever I want.
I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man. So Nate, let's kind of dive back in. You were in the evolution of your story at the part where you started traveling to CXBL. Is that the first international league that you ever competed in?
Yep, that was it. So kind of like I mentioned, like the core of DBS kids was getting hit up by different teams to come, be a part. And so we got offered a CXBL spot. So we kind of took that over. And then we were reffing tournaments in Canada for Mike Carey, who was doing Vancouver Vendetta. And so then he brought the core on to compete in 7-man. So now we got DBS kids are doing their thing in Canada, playing for a Canadian 7-man team. We'd only played like 2 events a year in X-Ball, so I was free to kind of do whatever I needed to do from that standpoint. So played with Fusion, WCPL, cut over with Fusion to PSP. And then after a season of Fusion, I decided to part ways with them and then joined Dave's team on DMG. So brought in Alex and Graham onto DMG initially, and then some other people.
What year was that?
2012.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to say somewhere right in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, then CXBL is where was competing against you, Marcelo, and then you gave me the invite to come try out for Ironman in I think it's 2012 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing against you at CXBL, and I was like, there was just something about your style that I was so intrigued with, because no offense, not the most athletic, but you had this like ability to just make moves down the Dorito side. Your timing was really, really good. Yeah. And you were willing to just continuously go, and you had, and over there it's 15 balls a second too, which is, makes it that much more difficult. But yeah, I had just joined the Ironman, and we were kind of going through a rebuild as well. And I was like, this would be the perfect person to come have, attack on the Dorito side for us. And generally just a nice human. So it was like, we want to have this guy around.
Yeah. So thank you for those kind words. Appreciate it. CXBL is just too much fun. If you haven't played 15 balls,
oh yeah,
oh my gosh, yeah, like I do think one of my strong suits is timing, field awareness, but at the same time, like if you're shooting your gun and everybody that could possibly look at you're shooting at, then you can just keep going, because if they look at you with 15 balls a second, they're just gonna die. So yeah, just too much fun. That was like the most fun I've ever had playing paintball. So I've been doing I started it, but now I've kind of passed it off to Doodlebug DBS. I try to throw once a year a old school style X-Ball mini tournament, like street ball style tournament.
Oh yeah.
So cool. We got the penalty boxes out. We got 15 balls a second.
Yeah.
You pay a flat fee, and we provide all the paint, so you don't have to worry about how much you shoot. We cover all the costs up front. We got a sick community of experienced people that come back and ref it. So it's not just, Joe Schmo's reffing.
How's the turnout on that? Is there a lot
of out? Like we can't,
wow.
we can't offer,
awesome.
We can't offer enough spaces, but so it's something that was really special to me, especially when I was going through the shoulder stuff, that I just wanted other people to get a taste for original X-Ball, because I don't know, I guess I'm like an X-Ball purist. Like I think that's how paintball should be played. I never liked 7-man. I kind of miss it now, just because it's
7-man was so fun.
It's slowed down so much now. Like X-Ball, like I would probably play 7-man now. But yeah, I want to go back to 2 halves and penalty boxes and that kind of thing. So being able to provide that in the Northwest, I'm really, really grateful that I'm able to do that. So
where can people, sorry, you were going to say that.
No, shout out Danny at Duobug. He's the one that I just literally was just a promoter for the first couple, and now I'm like, hey, I just want to play. So like, I'll help you promote, but like, it's all you. So we basically just market internally to our local, community. We call it the Sunday Fun Day group, because like I said, like it sells out. Like, we just don't have enough time in the day to fit more than 40 people in with 4 X-Ball matches. So,
well, it's a ton of fun. That's why. Yeah.
Man, and the saddest thing too, the Australian Super Sevens League for the longest time has been 15 balls a second, and they just like a month ago changed the rules to match US rules. So they are now 10 balls a second.
Man,
very sad, so sad. And like I know that the owner of the league, Mike Wybrew, I know he really didn't want to do it, but he had like enough pushback from the players with shooting too much paint and all that kind of stuff. But they're Yeah, he's always been such a strong supporter of the 15 balls a second. I personally think that it should be semi-automatic uncapped. And, I think we have technology now to make sure that there's no cheater boards, or at least, in the pro division, I'm sure we could have some sort of regulation on that. I believe it should be a touted skill to be able to shoot fast, as a back player. Like, why am I limited? I really despise the fact that you could have a perfect lane, and simply because of the gap in the paintballs at 10 balls a second, somebody can get through it like that. So now there's an element of luck in our game. I don't love that. Like, I feel like if I train and my fingers are fast and I could shoot fast, that should be a skill that's rewarded. We are shooting paintball guns. So, how well you can shoot your paintball guns, I feel like should be.
Yeah. Well, it adds another element of skill to the game too. Like, we want to add as many elements of skill as possible to the game. It is really hard to keep your fingers rolling and hold lanes if you're not really focused and making sure that you have it dialed in. To keep the cadence, right? It's like a rhythm that you have to stay with. And obviously in the current formation that we have, it's you get it going and it's going. But there is something to that. And it's pretty fun to shoot fast as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think off the break, I could shoot easily 15 balls a second if it was semi-automatic uncapped,
Yeah, I think so. Probably
more.
Yeah, right between there and like 17, 18, somewhere in there. You're not getting through any of those lanes.
No, no way. And actually, I believe that would speed up the game. I think more off the break kills would speed up the game. Those are the points that are really fast, is when you get like 2 kills on the break. So,
it's interesting.
It's quick. Then like game planning is really important, because you could really double down on certain zones, and, so you have these quick points, and the game planning is a huge part of it. But
yeah, if you put 2 guns on a player, there's no way they're making it if it was semi-uncapped.
Yeah, or like on 2 players, but on the same side, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to like go short on this side and try to double down on shooting both their guys, and then we'll explode out and go down that side and win like pretty quickly. It's just a lot of creative stuff you can do. But I like the idea of it being a skill for sure. Maybe that's the paintball purist in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you like 7-man so much? Probably why I was not consistent.
Yeah. No, I love 7-man because of the fields.
Yeah.
That's what, I loved the dimensions. So the field being longer, and the bunkers, like that was really fun. It invited a lot of moves. There was a lot of options. I loved the most when 7-man went to like somewhat of an X-ball format. Remember they would do the best of 5. Like it was like each 7-man game was like, I thought that was cool.
So Nate, what are some of the big lessons that you learned playing with Infamous that you can, carry over into the new squad? I know you're kind of alluding to some different ways of thinking about how to process information and how to build, the field out and make sure that you guys are successful. What are some tools that you could use to help the squad?
Yeah. So like big thing for me when I made the move to Infamous originally was like, not really having to be like that guy on Uprising that was like helping game plan and like helping like establish like, right, this is going to be like our identity and how our game theory and everything. Like I wanted to switch to just a fully player role. So having that like almost view from, a distance of watching the coaching staff and Travis and all the veterans like build game plans and break down layouts. I think I just got kind of like a good exposure to, someone, Travis, who has played like probably shot more paintballs than anyone. Like he's got some of the most experience in all formats and even X-ball. So just having his view of, kind of how we attack a field, that was kind of eye-opening to me in the early years. And then towards the end, I was kind of more in that inner circle and discussing like the game plans and like what we think would work. And then really, I think what I'm excelling in lately is scouting. So that's one thing that I'm really trying to help Uprising with is like, we need to play to our strengths, even though like Marcelo said, we're not super deep. We need to use the hand we're dealt to game plan and keep people on their toes. Like if you see Graham lined up on the outside, he's probably not going corner. He's like our best player. Like that kind of thing. Like, so just be able to rethink like how we game plan, who's on the field, and then also flipping the script on the other team, like reading who's on their box and how their what their tendencies are. Like, I think coming into the league, the advantage the new pro teams have, and that I felt is like I've watched Dynasty and all these guys since I was little. I know all their tendencies. Like, I have friends on my Young Guns team that they liked Ryan Greenspan so much they literally had the same style as him. Like, they would hold the gun the same. Like, we grew up watching these guys. So coming into 7-man competing against them the first time, it's like, you know, I know their tendencies. They don't know mine, so I got a huge advantage. So I think we need to get back to our roots in terms of like just being fans of paintball and being students of the game, because I think that's kind of lost. They're so caught up right now in their shortcomings that they're not realizing everything that they're doing right and just emphasizing the stuff we are doing right. So that's kind of one thing I tried hitting home on Infamous towards the end. It was like, it doesn't matter what happens in the last 10 seconds of the game. Like, Tyler Harmon and Marcelo, they're going to be the best players in the world and find opportunities to win games. Like, we need to isolate those guys and figure out what happened the 30 seconds leading up to that we can improve on, or what did we do right at the beginning of the game. And that should be our area of focus going into the next point. Because if we're just talking about how we bounce somebody or my gun turned off, then it's not constructive. It's not productive. So just trying to come in with a more neutral mindset and yeah, just build from there.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's a really great outlook going into the new squad. And you guys, like you said, you've been playing pro for a long time. I know we were kind of getting into that lineage before we started talking about, you know, what you would bring over to the squad. But how long have you been playing pro? So was Ironman, was that your first pro?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not a huge fan of 7-man, I don't consider my days in MPPL pro.
Dude, that counts.
That's
It
pro,
counts.
dude.
Yeah,
That's pro.
2011, I guess.
2011.
But I think it was 2012 where it's like you could just buy a spot into NPPL. So I'm like, this isn't the same.
Yeah, but you guys you were on that Vendetta team in 2012, right? Yeah. You guys beat really good teams. You guys were a pro team in that division. I remember one event you guys had a stellar event. Was that Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas. Yep.
Vegas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's pro. You guys are pro.
Yeah.
That's pro. Yeah.
So yeah, 2011, and then was it 2012 or 13 Ironman? So
13
right around there. 13. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how many years were you on the Ironman for?
6 months, maybe.
6 months. Okay.
A solid off season is what I'll say. No, Ironman was like a dream come true because growing up as a kid, like my favorite team was Aftermath. My passwords was like some rendition of Aftermath, like as a kid. They're not anymore, so don't try to like hack me or whatever. But but yeah, playing on a team with Steven Pitts, Mouse, Marcelo, A-Rod, Paxson, that was like a dream come true. So
we had such a good team too. If we just kept that group together a little longer. That's all. I guess that's a story with so many teams, so many groups, but that team was like,
Brandon Cornell, coached by Mike Hinman.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Any team with Mike Paxson is just star-studded. That guy is the best.
So many good Mike Paxson memories.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a
I don't
strong.
think he knew my name the whole time. I was just kid.
Yeah.
100%. I was just kid.
Just kid. To this day, I go up to him. I'm like, hey, this just happened like 2 events ago. I went into their pit. I'm like, hey, Pax, what's his name? It was Scotty Graham. He's like, kid. Like,
classic. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Come on, Pax. You gonna learn it? Nope. Classic Paxson. Yeah, it takes a few years. You really got to earn Paxson's trust for him to know your name.
For sure.
Yeah. When you go out and you get shit done for him, then he's like, okay, I know his name. Now. Yeah, you're back up. You're up.
I love it.
Yeah, he's funny, man. And that whole crew was just a timeless crew to be a part of. So I totally know what you mean of like that was a historic moment in time with that crew of players there.
Yeah, and it was the weirdest thing too, because like, you know, Mouse, Marcelo, like I'm older than both those dudes, but like I'm the new guy. Like they're like I'm like looking up to them. Like so it was very surreal. So yeah, that was sick. Just pushing the shopping cart through the dye factory and
Load it up.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you made that squad?
Shoot.
Are you in your early 30s right now? 34?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, so 23 made Ironman with that squad. Yeah, you're on top of the world.
Yep. Living in Pacific Beach.
Living a dream.
Life.
Yeah. we were best friends
living
back
my
then,
dream.
dude.
Yeah.
We were best friends.
Yeah.
Man.
It was sweet. Sleeping on Marcelo's couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome times, dude. Good times. Nate and I went through quite a bit. He has like, you know, he was the next up, and then all of a sudden he just left our team. Just left us.
So what happened?
Just left
what
us.
happened?
I got cut.
Oh,
I was number 13 on a 12-man roster, but Shane Pastana brought in some of the royalty guys, most of them. So it just, you know, nothing against them. I would do the same thing probably. Keep my homies together.
I didn't vote for this decision. Just want that to be very clear.
Yeah.
Again, I've always been a huge fan of Nate and what he could do on the field. So
yeah. No, like I said, I think in the past, I believe everything happens for a reason. So I found out at the event following the off season. So came on mid-season with Ironman 2013, played 2 events with them, practiced the off season at Dallas of 2013 or 14, whatever 14. It was. They said, you know, you're gonna play with CP this event. That off season, Todd Martinez was coaching Vicious, and he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, you know, what's Jared Stillwell's phone number?" So Jared is a local guy that was playing 7-man with Uprising actually, and then he got picked up by Impact. So he played a couple of events with Impact, and I was like, well, you know, if you're looking to pick up like a super sick, aggressive front player, like here's my buddy Alex Borromeo's number. So Todd hits up Alex. Alex goes and comes out and tries out for Vicious while he's practicing Ironman. So I'm on the other side of the field, and we just gave it to him all weekend. Like I got GoPro footage of just like 4 packs, and like it was a great weekend. But he made the squad. So Dallas, he's playing in the pro finals, gets second to Infamous, and I'm playing challengers with CEP. So after that event, I was like, all right, I'll just go play for Vicious with Alex. So yeah.
So it sounds like you need to get in our Discord and upload these videos. We need to see these.
Yep, I got them. Got you.
2014 is when Vicious made that run.
I think it was 13. I think I came on in 12, and then 13 was the super muddy Dallas.
I mean, 2013, 14, and 15.
Yeah,
I think we're super muddy Dallas. And 19, 20, 21. There wasn't even a Dallas tournament in 2020, and for some reason it was super muddy.
Yeah.
Damn, that mud.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that.
That's where I hurt my shoulder the first time.
Dallas?
Yeah. Yep.
That was where Little B hurt his as well. I remember.
No way.
Yeah, that's 2015. Crazy. We were on the field, and we break out. He gets to his bunker and just starts screaming. And I look back at him, and it was so graphic. It was freezing. It was shitty weather. We just start this match, and I could see like Lil B's hurt. He's down.
Yeah,
he's down. And I'm like, I didn't even feel like finishing the point. Right. I just wanted to like go help him up and carry him into the pit. We end up, I think we won the point. Honestly, don't remember if we won the match or anything. But like that was all I could think about was poor Brandon. He just seemed like he was in so much pain. That damn mud, dude.
Yeah,
that mud is no joke.
No, you can blame me for all the crappy weather in Dallas, because I think I put some bad omen juju down there, because I met my wife in Dallas.
Jesus,
and we were long distance for a while, and then she moved here. So I think Dallas is just like paintball.
It's got the weather curse from you. Oh my gosh.
Yep. They're like, this guy's from Washington where it rains, so every time he's here for paintball, it's just gonna rain.
Damn. All right, we found it. We found the center of the problem.
I'm going on record here on PTG.
Yikes.
Damn.
Well, I mean, on that note, I think
yeah.
no. Well, the good news is I don't think we're gonna have an event in Dallas during that time next year.
Yeah,
So
they're switching it up.
finally, we'll see. We haven't gotten the schedule yet. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of that kind of stuff. I mean, Nate, you've done a lot of different things in paintball. You are you still doing the coaching? You had this like really badass coaching Instagram.
Yeah, that was something I had high aspirations for, but I found myself getting spread a little bit too thin across all my other commitments. So that's on the back burner right now. But now that I'm not traveling so much for practice, definitely something that's been on top of my mind.
What was that page? What was the name of that page?
Paintball coach.
Paintball coach. Yeah, dude. I just remember the stuff that you were posting. Like I was really interested in, but I get it. Like that kind of stuff requires a ton of time.
Yeah.
But where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So with that and all of the stuff that you've been doing with paintball, I think paintball is at a really exciting turning point right now. There's a lot of, obviously with the ESPN thing, and there's talks of a pretty cool documentary to follow some players, kind of outside of the nets versus, inside the nets. What do you think of the ESPN show? Did you watch it?
Yep. Watched it, recorded it, told everybody I know about it.
There we go.
Yeah, I've been saying for the longest time, I like the live webcast, but post-production is going to be our ticket. I think, when I saw they had the GoPros, I was like, yes, like somebody knows what they're doing. Like we just need to make it look as much like a video game as possible.
Yes.
That's all that needs to happen. And if we could just do a better job in the post-production of clipping together those, overhead views with the first person, then I think the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. I mean, do what works. I don't know how long we've been saying this on the show. Do what is already popular. Make it look like what's already working. The video games and that type of style is being devoured. People love it. They're consuming it with just like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we try to emulate what's already working. I think that is a really great idea. The way you said that was perfect. Yeah.
100%. So what's next? What could the league be doing better? What could players be doing better? Talk to us about that side of it, Nate. Leave the listeners with some insight. Drop it like it's hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, so the post-production thing, I think, is the ticket. Like I said, man, I had like a list of things that ideas, blanking on right now. So
it will come to you.
I had this crazy idea for bunkers, but I feel like they're always shaped differently and they're always getting blown too big. Then you get shot underneath one side. Like on one of the fields, is in Vegas. On one side of the field, I was too short to shoot one shot.
Yes.
And on the other side, it's perfect. So I'm like, I told Travis, I was like, dude, like
on that side, I can't do this.
Yeah, I can't. You 100%. Like, so I think, obviously the field terrain itself is what it is. But like, as far as the bunkers, like getting into different shapes when they get bigger, like what if they just took like a piece of bunker material and ran it on the inside of the bunker so it like pulls the sides in? Like, couldn't that keep it from getting too big? Like, I don't understand why we couldn't.
Wait. Yeah. What do you mean?
So like the bunker's blown up, right? And then it always balloons out, right? To keep it from ballooning out, you would need to pull the opposite walls together. So if you just have like a piece of material on the inside that's like acting as a kind of like a string to like pull
together. This is an idea?
No, dude, this is a great idea. This is a great idea. I think that, my three things that I have for modern day paintball that take us to the next level are
let's go.
The video stuff, post-production. We already covered that.
Yeah, for sure.
The layouts. We can say as much as we want about the layouts, but I think fixing this core structure of each bunker so that it doesn't become like different when it gets overinflated. I think that's huge. Because
now, what benefit would that bring to people watching the game?
Yeah, well, I think it just makes the sport more like uniform. I think that eliminating the stupid little variables where like now I can't even play on one side of the field because I can't see the shot. Like I think that's silly. There's too many variables right now. I think that we need to work on.
Yeah, but there's like, even in football, it's like certain stadiums, depending on the time of the day, you have the sun in your eyes. They're like, if you're racing and it,
Yeah.
the track gets wet, or I don't know, these variables are like in play. Does it really change the gameplay? I mean, it changes the gameplay, but I look at it, it's just funny. You were talking about Uprising leaning into strengths. I look at that as like an area where we can be better than the other team, because when we walk the field, like, I'm aware of all these different possibilities. So first thing in the morning, I'm like, hey, this is going to be a good shot all morning because it's not hot out. The bunkers aren't overinflated. So let's incorporate this into the game plan, or I'm like, in the afternoon, I'm like, hey, let's change our game plans because from that side, this person can't shoot that. It actually, to me, adds extra layers of, and not skill, but IQ.
Yeah.
So that was why my question was, does that change how people view the game? You know what I mean? Because if it does, then okay, we got something to talk about there. But if it's just from a player standpoint, I think you could argue both sides, right? I see what you're saying too. Like making it more uniform and just kind of like indoor basketball, perfect. The NBA, it's the same. You're shooting on the same size hoop, same height. The floor is painted different colors, but when you go to a stadium, it's always going to be that. There's like dead spots on floors and stuff that they have to deal with that come up, and so they have variables too. But I mean, the more that we can eliminate those, probably the better.
Yeah, I just think it's such a hard sport to follow as is. So if we could eliminate as many variables as possible for like the normal person just coming to watch it, I think that'll go a long way personally. But
and you said you have 3 too, so there's another one. I want to hear this last one.
The other one was so instead of taking like the pro division to like every single location, like let's just have one spot that we go to just as pros, and we do our thing 5 times a year in this like facility, and then let's make that facility like the Paintball Hall of Fame. Let's like do events there. Like let's make it.
You could build it into a regular field too. Like when we're not competing there, people can come and actually play.
Yeah. Yep. Just do like, bring in pros on off weekends to do clinics, like do the BKI thing there. Like, I think we just need one spot that we can put money into and watch it grow and become like an actual like home for paintball.
That's a good idea, Nate. I like that.
Have like a permanent webcast booth, like everything.
Yeah. Have like a media little area for teams before their matches. Like if you could really build a foundation in a location, and that was the foundation in the location. That was kind of the idea with like the Philly property, and Tom was kind of talking about trying to build these parks in areas where they're going to have the venues, so that when the venues aren't there, they can, be long-lasting paintball facilities that they can continue to build on each year. And, in 10 years, you're going to have these like kind of grand type stadiums. I like this idea. Where would a good location be?
I don't know. I feel like you got to have like some sort of retractable roof or something to get it out of the elements. Cause I don't know. Originally I was thinking like Vegas, even though it's like stupid hot there during the summer. Like if you could figure out some way to make it work, or just maybe have our off season be the summer. Like I wouldn't be opposed to that. Because then you could do like, the bachelor party thing, like in Vegas, like there's always a lot of tourists, stuff like that. But but I just heard of the paintball field in Vegas, closing their doors. So I guess it's not a super viable option. So kind of a bummer to hear.
Yeah, there's another field out there though that does decent. And that location, LVPP, man, it's an old, kind of iconic place, but they could have done so much better with what they had. In all honesty, love the owner, super nice gentleman, Tommy. But I think they could have done a lot better. And the other field kind of did a better job of catering to the customers. So it's just kind of like that. But I like the idea. I really do. I would be really sad not to go to Florida for World Cup.
Yeah.
I think you get over it pretty quick.
I don't think so. Landing in Florida is like landing at World Cup. And that's how I feel every time I go to Florida. It's just like, that is World Cup to me,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, but you're absolutely right. You're onto something there. Like, as the future of our sport continues on, we need to start thinking about those types of things and how we can build the infrastructure of it and start to make it have some tangible area where you're like, this is the mecca of paintball right here. This is where it all started. And then we can build on that. And then March, what you said was phenomenal as well. You have this whole media aspect that we can build out as well. Have a whole area where you can really hype the players, hype the stories, get the engagement rolling on the stories, because there are a bunch of really big, powerful stories in the game. And then have a spot where you have the most premium set up for the electronics, for everything that's running the system. It's just, it's just top tier. And it would be a huge undertaking, obviously, in the beginning. But I think also the paintball community would come together to support something like that if that were to ever happen. I think that you would see a tremendous amount of support from all paintball companies and people across the world. That would be pretty sick. I would love to see that.
Yep.
Yeah. Curious. Obviously, you have the business side of things for the NXL. It would not be good for them to not have the pro teams, playing with the divisional players.
Yeah, because it is an attractant. Like the divisional players love to go to the event to see the pro players play. So we would have to find a way to kind of marry all that together and make it to where it works for everyone. But before we let you go, I do want to ask a couple Discord questions. I know we have to go pretty soon. We'll just get to Verbs because he's always asking this one: your favorite food and your favorite place to eat it. It's a pretty easy one too.
Oh shoot! All right, chicken teriyaki. I think I turned Marcelo onto that when he visited Seattle. Kind of, if you don't know, Seattle's famous for their chicken teriyaki.
I'm going this weekend. Now I know what I'm eating. Perfect.
You got to go.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you flying into Bellingham or SeaTac?
I think I'm going into. I'll be at both. I think I'm going into one and leaving out of the other.
Okay.
All right.
So you got options. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then favorite place to eat it? At home, right here with my dogs.
I love that,
Yeah.
bro. How far are you from SeaTac?
35 miles or 35 minutes. Sorry.
35 minutes.
15 miles.
I've got like a 3-hour layover there Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Nice. What? Yeah. Hit me up.
No, yeah, maybe we get some food.
Yeah.
No pressure. If you're busy, it's cool. It'll be. I get there at like 6:30, and then my flight leaves at 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk. I'll text you on the side.
Also, do you want to join our Discord? We'll send you a link if you want to hop in there.
Yeah, man. I'm down.
Yeah,
We'd love it.
Nice.
All right, we'll send the link. Thank you.
Oh yes, ready. All right. My Discord question is from Young Stevie. He wants to know, Nate, what's the most memorable point you've played on the pro field?
Dunking on Ryan Redarty for sure. Thanks for asking the layup question there, Young Stevie. Yes.
Hell yeah.
No.
Explain it. Explain the move.
Yeah.
Explain the whole deal.
So Ryan had been going to the W every single time. We knew he was going. For whatever reason, that season, that was actually the season that I was like really started honing in on the visualization thing. So I'd done a couple things at practice that I was like, man, I saw myself doing this, and then I just the opportunity presented itself and I did it. So I had been thinking like, if somebody's in the W looking the way that I'm going,
the big wall, right?
Yeah,
the big W's.
I'm pretty sure I could just one hand gangster get the person on the other side if I know they're there looking the other way. And it was like 0.6, and he had gone there every single point of the tournament, including our match.
Epic.
So I was just told the guys, I was like, hey, just line up like we're doing the same thing. I'm gonna cut inside and go and try and dunk on him. So he went. I went to do it. I actually so the bunker was the way they sewed the seams together. So there was a spot where my barrel was coming over, and then I hit the next part of the seam. So I felt something, and then I shot, and then the ball, as soon as it left the barrel, just broke on the seam of the material. So if you watch the video, because it's out there, I'm just spraying him, and he's calling himself out. So I got lucky.
Oh shit! You didn't even shoot him on that?
I didn't even make
That's pretty
full
funny.
ball. Did not break on him. No, it just sprayed. But he called
damn.
himself out, and so that was it. So that was pretty sweet.
You surrendered. So in one of the most iconic little bunker dunks ever, that's how you got the nickname Air Schroeder. You also surrendered him.
Yeah, you just got
You also surrendered him. Damn, Rodarte.
Simo.
I know.
Alex Frazier would be proud.
No, I don't think that's probably not
Yeah,
my most
Schroeder.
memorable pro point. I think I'd have to go back to actually Dallas. I got caught in a 1-on-5 situation against X Factor, and I had shot all 4 and lost the 1-on-1 to Clint Johnson. So had I had won that, I think I would have been the only person to win a 1-on-5. But it doesn't count.
In a
So,
tournament? Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Well, Maddie's got a 1v4 coin for you when you see him. So hit him up.
Yeah.
That's
So
Hell
that
yeah.
was sweet.
My last one's from Jay Lamb. Nate, what do you think the boys need to get over that slight bump to push them back into the finals and into the Sunday rounds?
Yeah, I think just honestly, just a little bit of morale boost, and I think I'm bringing that. I didn't get a chance to say earlier, but I'm not expecting to go play on Uprising and play every single point and shoot everybody on the other side of the field and look awesome doing it. Like, I'm at the point now where I know what I can bring to the team is much more valuable off the field than it might be on the field. Like, there definitely a case can be made that they're not deep enough, and I'm going to add to that, sure, but it takes a whole entire team. It takes everybody to elevate their game. And I think because we're so close and we've been playing together for so long that I'm going to help them elevate their game off the field.
Yeah, I see that for sure, dude. I think you're going to bring a really good perspective and a good paintball mind.
Thank you.
But you definitely need to be on the field too. If you're healthy, Nate needs a play.
Yep. For sure.
All right. My last question is from Lil G from the Bean. Nate, with the knowledge you have gained being a part of the Infamous camp, where do you see yourself on the Uprising roster, both on and off the field? Kind of just answered one of them, but is there like a certain spot that you're excited to play with this team?
I think, I think it traditionally I've been like a one Dorito guy, and I just think I'm a little too valuable at this point to be taking that much risk. So I'm going to be playing a lot more insert roles, kind of like I was on Infamous. But I'm also expecting like us to completely change the way that we're attacking fields. So like, even though I may not be the widest guy on that field, I still might be the guy that comes through and does all the damage. So it's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, brother, we can't thank you enough for stopping by PTG Studios and hanging out with us and telling the people your story. And if there's any like shout outs or any, plugs that you want to drop, now's the time.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, thank you, Infamous, for the past, 6.5 years. Like, some of the best relationships I've built in paintball for sure. Can't thank them enough for helping me get to where I've gotten. And then on the flip side, Uprising, obviously Jimmy, he's doing all the right things, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And shout out my support system, my wife Isabella, and my 2 dogs for holding it down while I've been chasing this paintball thing. And I think, also the local community, like, it's really inspiring to see what we've got going on at DBS. So shout out my Sunday Funday crew.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome,
and it's Trill and Tricks, right?
Yep. Tricks and Trill.
There
Shout
we
out
go.
to Tricks and Trill.
Yeah.
I love it, Nate. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for spending time with us, and it was good just to catch up. I'll send you a message if you're available on Thursday. Let me know.
For sure. Thank you,
And
guys.
we'll see you in the chat here in just a minute. I'm sending you the Discord link. We got you.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. All
All right.
right. Peace out, my goats.
Later, brother.
Later.
My goats.
All
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link in the corner, and support the show. We greatly appreciate it. We have tiers as low as $1.99 a month. That is nothing, guys, and it'll give you access to the Discord, where you get access to the players chat and get to mingle with the entire PTG community. We have tons of different pros in there. Tyler and myself are very active, and it's an amazing way to support the show. We also have amazing other tiers. If you want to be one of the best, want to be a GOAT, sign up for the GOAT tier. It's the greatest way to support us, and each month we do a private live stream show, one-on-one kind of thing, to where it's just the GOATs, and Tyler, myself, will bring in some special guests every now and then, but you get to ask us questions in real time, live, on the air, and you get lots of inside juicy news that we don't share on the show. So, as always, we will see you guys very soon.